Everyone wants to be healthy. Why wouldn't you want to take very good care of your nervous system? We've got a doctor who specializes that, especially for moms and kids. Stay tuned, everybody. We're back, everybody. The Your Little Castle Show, brought to you by Carroll House Furniture. You can see them on the back walls there. We've got a doctor in the building. She's the owner of St. Clair Chiro, where pain ends and wellness begins. stclairchiro.com, 618-566-0052. And if you would like to get somebody, an expert, to look at what your situation, I mean, how often do we have people, everybody is going to go through some kind of a back issue, something related to their nervous system, because it's so core to the design of us human creatures here, right? Mm-hmm. But it's very important you make sure that you take care of these issues correctly and address the issues that most people will overlook these things, and then they can get worse and worse and worse. And it could have just been a simple adjustment, right?
Absolutely.
Somebody could have got pretty quickly. With that, tell me what you're a small business owner, though. Tell me what it's like to be a small business owner. You've got a nice little team working for you, and I love it because I get to be very responsive and answer. That you're talking to the boss, that people get to talk to you directly. What's it like being a small business owner? Why do you think that benefits your clients, your guests?
Oh my goodness, it's surreal. It's awesome to be able to being able to see these amazing people in our community and make a huge difference in their lives. But simply, I mean, it's busy. It's really busy all the time. We're constantly doing something, even if we're not in office. So, it's definitely amazing to be able to make something so great in our community that can benefit so many people in ways that even they don't know that they need.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people, like I said, people will overlook this. I've had a pain on my right, or I start getting numbness in my right thigh. I'm like, well, there's something wrong with my thigh. There wasn't something wrong with my thigh, or something wrong with the nerves that fed my thigh, and a little pinch, and then a couple treatments, and bam, that issue goes away. But it would just happen while I was just standing there. And these are little things that people will overlook. What could really be going wrong there, and how serious could that be? Just, it seems like it's innocuous. It's some little numbness in my thigh, but what could be at the core there, a much bigger problem?
Oh my goodness, yeah. I mean, it definitely depends on the person. Sometimes it's simply a misalignment, either in our low back or more in our sacral area where we kind of sit. And that specifically is not that it's not super serious, because it can become serious if you don't get it taken care of. But those are the easier cases to take care of. Sometimes we have more serious things with blown out discs or things that are encroaching on the nerves in those areas. Still treatable, still things that we can take care of holistically, but we have to pay closer attention to it sooner so that we can make sure that we get that taken care of before it gets to the point that we can't do anything for them and have to send them on to a different provider.
Yeah, you end up getting into surgery and those kinds of. Here's a question for you that's coming off the cuff, but how will AI, artificial intelligence, impact this space? You're still going to have to be hands-on and doing things in there, but what's going to happen with AI, do you think?
I think that if we use it appropriately, it can be used as a huge tool to benefit some of our systems internally. But we're never going to get rid of having to actually lay hands on patients and physically help them in that regard.
Yeah, the AI these days seems to get you a lot of good information more quickly, but there's still the hardcore. You got to analyze what you're looking at, make sure that the results are getting there. What is the biggest mistake that the average person makes then? Is it waiting too long? Is it not getting treated? Is it they think it's going to be too expensive, or they're afraid of getting their back worked on? What are the mistakes people make when they deal with their own personal care along these lines?
One of the biggest mistakes that I see is that people are like, oh, it'll go away. Oh, it's just a small situation. It's not that big of a deal. Yeah. And then they're crawling into the office a few days to a few weeks later, and they're like, I probably should have come in a little sooner. And I'm like, hey, we all make those mistakes. But yes, definitely, if you can get to it a little quicker, it makes a huge difference. And it can affect your recovery time as well.
Well, yeah. How many people don't deal with the issues because they're busy? They've got kids, they got work, they got
Too many.
lots of things going on in life. But if they'd have just gotten there a little bit sooner, because you're talking about your nervous system here, you've got a nerve that gets pinched, and it becomes, you don't want a nerve to get severed.
Yeah.
I do have a little nerve damage here. I was hit by the drunk driver in the car in the back seat. My jaw got broken, and there's a nerve that comes out through your chin right here that you know about, and it comes right through. There's a little hole right there, comes out and services the circuit. But I tell people, if I'm on like when I'm out to dinner with my girlfriend, I'm like, sorry, you're so beautiful, but if I start drooling, I can't feel anything right here because I've only got about 50%. But I had a severed nerve. Now that was because of a traumatic situation. But how often people are just continuing to do the same thing over and over, putting this pressure on the same part of their whichever part of your back, that ultimately, if they keep doing it, it's going to make things a lot worse, and they're not dealing with the problem.
It absolutely can. I mean, I see it every day where we have people that hardly walk into the office. There are people that have to have assistance to get into the office, and they're like, well, it didn't seem that bad. It wasn't that bad of a situation. I was walking. I was still functioning, I think, and I was still going to work, and I was doing everything. It just got worse, though. It just kept getting worse, and unfortunately, sometimes that ends badly for those people, but most of the time we're able to step in and make a huge difference. I haven't had any that we haven't helped, so.
Oh, that's a good return there of people that you deal with a lot of people. Look at the reviews we talked about in the first show. If you missed the first show, everything's recorded, put out back on it's all on our YouTube channel, which you can go to through our yourlittlecastle.com. Click the link. You believe that nobody bought the domain Your Little Castle? We use that because we're all trying to create our own little world, our own little castle here, and it's important that you take care of your health and you treat the core problem. Don't cover it up with medication. You want to get something that fixes the real issue. Do you do, you're mostly for individual care? Do you have any corporate gigs or any commercial related work you do? Do you go to big businesses and offer seminars or anything? Or tell me.
I've been to a few larger businesses in our area, and we treat quite a few in our area. Some just right down the road from us, so we make a pretty big impact for some of those big companies.
Yeah, say how many? Can you guess how many patients you've treated over your time?
Oh my goodness, I can't even put a number to it. Probably, my goodness, thousands.
Thousands, okay. Yeah, and chiropractors have a very good, efficient system, and when I got treated, you treat people yourself. You're doing the adjustments yourself, because you can get an assistant and do that kind of stuff, but it's best to have the doctor themselves do it, because they're the ones can analyze and figure out what might be going wrong there. What do you like about the St. Louis area? And do people come over from the St. Louis, the Missouri side too? And how far do people come visit you? If you're good at what you do, people will drive a little bit,
They
right?
will. They will drive. I mean, 30 minutes, an hour. I don't know, probably an hour and a half is the most I've heard somebody driving our direction. But yeah, we have quite a few in the area, and I absolutely love it. It's been my home my entire life. I'm from, the Illinois side of the river, but right outside of St. Louis, and it's just a dream to be able to treat this area and the population that's near and dear to my heart.
Yeah, there's some good people that live in this part of the country, and they obviously do care about their health. And so you get the West Coast and East Coast, they're all running around and doing their health shakes and all this stuff. Do we not pay as close attention here, but you get to service people just as much? I mean, how would you grade people in this region? Do they take it seriously? Depends on how bad it gets, or where are we at with regard to how much attention we pay to our chiropractic health?
That's a really good question. I'd say it's starting to become a little bit more prevalent in our society. People are really starting to pay attention. They're starting to pay attention to how they treat their body with everything, not only just chiropractic care, but nutrition and movement and all that good stuff. But it's really hard to pinpoint what makes that difference. Some people, they went through a bit of pain to get there.
Right.
Others, they've grown up that way. But it just depends on what that specific person has going on.
Yeah, it's about the information, and people just need to get the information. And when you understand what can be done on a chiropractic level, there's just so much that affects your whole body, and things that can be remedied pretty quickly if you just get the right treatment and figure out C6, C5. So these are the different vertebrae in your back, right? I don't know if those are the upper or lower. Talk to the doctor; she'll explain it to you. But it's important to address this and don't wait too long. It doesn't cost near as much. You're talking surgeries because you put something off. Wow, you didn't do yourself a service there. But give me a time. You've probably had with thousands of clients. You've had a number of clients that you really something that stuck out in your mind that you had a real serious situation, you came through and helped somebody. Can you give me an example of a couple people where you dealt with somebody that was pretty serious and really came through?
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of times, especially in our younger populations, it tends to be more of, oh, they're colicky, oh, they're fussy. But it can be as serious as, oh, we're not having any bowel movements and we're not functioning the way that we need to. So we've helped tons of babies with that motility issue alone, but specifically I've had kiddos that have even speech problems and different things in their nervous system going on to where their brain and their body connection's not quite functioning the way that it needs to. And so we've helped kiddos even align so that they're able to perform better and their nervous system is functioning better, and it's even affecting their speech. And I'm not saying we're curing a speech problem, but it's definitely helping get them to where they need to be, and that they're hitting these milestones. I had also a gentleman, he was probably middle-aged, and he had such a bad low back that he did not walk into my office. He didn't walk in at all. And we basically, within a few visits, he was walking without support at all whatsoever. And he was amazed at the response that his body made to the chiropractic care. And he made a full recovery, and that was not predicted, not even by his medical doctor. So that was absolutely profound. And we've helped lots of mamas too. Lots of moms with their breech babies. Actually, chiropractic itself doesn't treat the baby for being breech, but we get mom into an optimal position to give baby room to move where they need to, and get them hopefully in the optimal position. I'd say we have a pretty good success rate on helping moms get that goal specifically achieved, and babies usually go head down, and we're able to help them functionally get to where they want to be so that they can have a natural labor if they want to.
And I'm not an expert, but breech is when the feet are coming out first. That's called a breech, and your normal birth is for the head to push through and come out. Okay, yeah, if you can help that kind of situation, because there's risks when they come out the wrong way to the safety of the delivery for the baby. Tell me a time when you had to overcome some kind of a challenge, whether that was with a client or a business decision or something that just made you stronger. I'd like to share little secrets we've learned, and obviously you're still here, so it wasn't too difficult, but the time you've had a challenge in life or business that made you really realize what was important.
Oh, goodness. I'd say that this kind of seems a little silly, but when I had one of my first patients early on in practice come to me, and she started, it'd been a little bit since she'd been in, and she started having some serious symptoms to where I was concerned for what she had going on. She had something called Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, and that is a connective tissue disorder that basically causes your connective tissues to be lax. And so we have to pay special attention to these patients because they have a little bit more going on. And she called in, and I had to make a decision that I was uncomfortable making because she wasn't your typical red flag. It wasn't something that most people probably would have said, oh no, come on in, let's do it, let's take care of it. And I'm happy that I made that hard decision to actually refer her out and push her in a direction that was a little bit different than what you would expect a chiropractor to do, especially in a symptom where it wasn't a huge red flag, but it was borderline. And that was a hard situation, but it made a huge difference for her. And she still gets chiropractic care, but she's able to actually live and function properly because of that decision. So
there you go. And that's what they say. You don't have an expert, a doctor, somebody around because when everything's going smooth. It's when there's a problem, and the expert knows what to do to address the issue and can take care of it. Now she's functioning much more readily than she probably would have ever if she'd made a bad decision there. It could have been
detrimental.
Detrimental, very serious. That's why you have experts, everybody. St. Clair Chiro, where pain ends and wellness begins. stclairchiro.com. 618-566-0052. Get a hold of Dr. Rachel Engelke. She started the chiropractic firm you have here, the office you've got, and helped thousands of people. So stay tuned, everybody. We got some more fun. We enjoy those who support our military. Scott Air Force Base, not too far from you. Josh Gratian came in town to help support Little Patriots Embraced. They asked me to MC this event. So check this out.
So with that, let's give a nice warm introduction. We've got one of the best artists that many people have seen over the years here. Back in 2004, he was the New Artist of the Year nominee. He had a breakthrough video, I Want to Live, in 2005. Gained public attention as the 4th place finalist on the 2nd season of American Idol. Is that pretty cool? You guys realize American Idol's been around? We've had a couple of guys on my show. We got to get Josh on the show. We got a couple great crew here with them too. Sydney. Dan's here too. So and these guys are musicians, been doing this for a long time. So give it up for Josh Grayson. And Nate and Sydney. And here goes to an awesome event. A little acoustic set for these guys. Yeah, with the whole get up. Giddy up.
His name is Carter Rethwich, but in St. Louis, he's known as the Cardinal Cowboy. He's a well-known fixture in the stands at sporting events in the Gateway City. He's one of its greatest cheerleaders, a super fan like no other. When he makes his rounds at almost every home game, he shares his love for sports with the rest of fandom with a smile, a cheer, some positive encouragement, and lots of selfies and pics. But the Cardinal Cowboy was born of a tragic incident. Rethwich was an aspiring athlete in high school and college. He dreamed of playing in the big leagues, but those dreams ended when he and 3 of his college friends were hit with a devastating crash by a 5-time drunk driver. One of his best friends died. Carter suffered a critical head injury. The trauma put him in a coma for 6 days. The doctors said he was never expected to function again. Those expectations never came true. He fought back and finished college. He was determined to prove the doctors wrong. Among other inspirations, it was his love of baseball that kept him going. And from his near-death experience, the Cardinal Cowboy emerged. His goal in life became to inspire others with positivity despite the odds, to help people believe in themselves and achieve their dreams.
So after my coma, I realized that it was up to me if I was going to accomplish my goals, if I was going to reach my dreams. Despite what the naysayers would say, the people that were discouraging me, like they do everyone, it's up to me if I'm going to make it. Don't listen to the naysayers. It's up to you. You decide whether you're going to succeed, whether you're going to reach your goals. Dream, and then always, always chase your dreams. Never give up. Giddy up. Hey, we're looking for the small business owners and leaders in our community to be on our show. This is the Your Little Castle Show. We air 3 times a week, every week on ABC, and we would like to put somebody you know, or maybe it's you, who's a business owner, to be on our show. You'll sit right here in our guest chair, right here, sitting here talking to us. We're going to put on the wall your website and everything about you, and highlight you as a leader. Fill out the form you see here on our website. It's bigleagues.com, and if you go to bigleagues.com, fill out this form. It takes just a couple seconds, and you can even schedule yourself right here. Schedule yourself to be on the show, and there is no charge for us to record you. There's no charge to be in the studio. Check it out if you would like to be on. Fill out the form again, bigleagues.com. This is where we can turn any interview into a series of clips. Check that out. Go to bigleagues.com. So there you have it, everybody. But technology changes the way things are done. Magnetize your media. This whole interwebs thing is not going away. That's my joke. I say, oh, you think this internet thing's going to catch on? But yours truly wrote the foreword. They said Cardi essentially wrote the first chapter, but it really introduces what this book is about. But you should magnetize your media. We don't have any excuse. We all have a phone or two in our pockets to take a clip, take a pic, and to get some professional stuff done. We help people with that here because you want to look the part so people understand that you are on the ball. But tell me, how has media changed the way you've got a beautiful website, social media, and then how you use those to communicate and inform your clients?
I'd say media is our main way of communicating with our clients. So any updates that we have going on in the office, everything goes onto our media immediately. But then additionally, it's just our way of communication. It's what everybody's scrolling through anyway in their evenings or whatever time of day. But essentially, it is just the primary source of information for everybody. So we make sure that we are always on top of that and communicating with our people.
Yeah, you've got quite the following too, and you're doing good work to put solid information there. I was scrolling there to let everybody see a little bit about your social media, but boy, now we all have the bulletin board, the megaphone that we can share what we're interested in and what's affecting people and how we're impacting the community. So with that, I've got to ask you, and this is really robust here. I'm going to show you this, everybody, but my question is, tell me the process for somebody to sign up to become a client of yours. And give me a little bit about that. And as you talk, I'm going to put up on the wall what you were showing me on your website.
Well, there's definitely a couple different ways to become a client through us. Obviously, you can call the office. We have a phone number that's always active, and we try to respond pretty quickly to everybody, hopefully within 24 hours or less. Less is likely what you'll get. But if we're not in office, like today on a Thursday, or if we're, stepped away for lunch or something like that, we have an amazing website that
or if people prefer to go just through the web.
Yeah, it's so easy. It's super easy. We have links everywhere, links on all of our social media. But even on our website, you can go in and click any of our book appointment links. And right there, it takes you directly to what you need to get started with us. So we can book you in for a new patient appointment with that adjustment first day, as long as everything's looking good. And then when we go from there, it's just for adjustments. And even our current clients, they love our stuff because they can get in there and they can move things around if they need to and easily book an appointment at like the click of a button, quite literally. But yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, that's a robust system you've got right there, very detailed, and obviously makes it very clear what you are offering to help people, and they can schedule that right there on the web and gets an email, gets an alert, probably gets a reminder, and all those things that are necessary. We're big on technology. We use that. Did you get an alert from us too to remind you?
I did, yes.
Yeah, we got to communicate, and you got to give people the resources to make sure that they can get in to see the doctor, because how many people, you miss an appointment and now you've got a back pain and you're going to work and making things worse. That is not the way to handle it. So tell me though, many people have questions about the kind of work that you do. What is the biggest question? What's the biggest objection people have? Is it getting, they're always worried about their back? What's the biggest question you hear from people that might be your clients?
Yeah, that's a really good question. A lot of the time, I'd say we get big questions into how does it work? What are we actually doing? And how is this going to make my problem better? Is it something that you can even take care of? Is that something that chiropractic will help? And we make a huge difference for a lot of different things, not just back pain. People immediately associate back pain with chiropractic, and of course we take care of that, but it's much more than that.
Yeah, I would say get somebody that knows what they're talking about, because ask the questions. You've got a doctor, two doctors. I know you have an assistant there, or a co-doctor, I guess. What's her name?
Dr. Melissa Huber.
Huber, okay. And both of you have two doctors in the building. There's somebody who's going to be always available to answer questions, because how often it seems kind of emergent. You want to make sure you get an answer, but they can call just about any time. And is there an after hours they could text or whatever? But you're definitely open during pretty normal business hours. What's the easiest way for somebody to call if they just had a question?
If they just have a question, you can call and leave us a voicemail. We'll get back to you as soon as possible. If we're not answering the phone, most of the time we will, even outside of hours sometimes. Usually like during the day, like lunchtime. But if we're like in the evening time and it's past 6 o'clock and we're out of office, you can always shoot a text message. I can't always guarantee you're going to get a 30-second response with the kiddos running around in the background, but
Yeah, so that's a textable number too.
It is a textable number
Okay.
too, so that's a huge benefit. People can text in and we'll get to you pretty quickly.
Awesome. What gives you the most satisfaction? Ultimately, this has got to make you feel great about what you get to do to help really people stay healthy, get back on track, get their life in order because they're having such chronic pain. And gosh, it's the treatment you can offer and so many times fix something very quickly. What do you love most about what you do?
Oh my goodness, that's a hard question. I just love making that difference for people, whether it be back pain or a mama who wants a more natural delivery, if, even if they want intervention, or a kiddo who's struggling in one way, shape, or form. Just making that difference and taking that burden off their shoulders so that they can function and go through life the way that they were hoping to.
Yeah, I mean, so often we have problems that we don't realize there are remedies for, and they don't cost a lot to get addressed. And I mean, what does an initial consultation with you cost? Just to come in for a basic exam.
Yeah, just a basic exam. When we go through everything, we go top to bottom. It's $200 and then $65 for an adjustment, and that's a fraction of what you're getting somewhere else.
Yeah, I say you walk into an emergency room, you're on the hook for $500 just to be in the door, and then everything else on top of that they're going to. And so this is a little more proactive approach. I think this is a great way for people that if you know you're having some kind of a chronic issue, don't be afraid to get. You may say you need to go to a medical doctor as opposed to a chiropractic doctor, but at least you can give kind of a basis for them and see what the source is. Many times the spine controls so much about everything in our body. People just need to take the time to come in and give you a call and come visit you. Normal hours during the week? What are your hours normally?
Approximately from about 8 to 9 a.m. To 5 or 6 p.m. depending on the day. But we're there Monday through Wednesday and then on Fridays as well.
Okay, one day a week that everybody gets to kind of relax, but still available. Things that happen and lots of stuff going on in the background to make sure you're taking care of everybody. Quickly, we got just a minute left here. You have any particular organizations you like that you support? You mentioned one to me a minute ago.
Yeah, the Women's Violence Prevention Center is some place that's near and dear to our hearts that we like to donate a lot of different things, and they make a huge difference in our community and have helped make safe places for people. So profound. Yeah,
those organizations that help, especially the young ladies who, depending on their situation, we all know that it's a tough world out there, but going through a difficult situation, great organizations do a lot of work to really help our community. And then our chiropractors and doctors that make a difference. Chiropractors that are doctors make a difference to help a lot of people with the way you want to make sure and take care of your health. And we appreciate you, Dr. Rachel, for coming in and sitting down with us for 2 full half-hour interviews. Everybody, like I say, if you missed those, check them out. They're on our YouTube channel, available for you, and we hope you do enjoy those. Stay tuned for more, everybody. This is the Your Little Castle Show. Giddy up.